Have Sam Bradford and Jermaine Gresham become the poster boys for why those who can jump to the NFL should jump to the NFL? From the News OK studios in Oklahoma City, I'm Mike Sherman, and this is the Press Row. My guests, as always, are columnists Barry Trammell, Jenny Carlson, and John Rohde from the Oklahoman. John, are NFL agents right now preparing PowerPoint presentations based on what happened to the Sooners the last 2 weeks?
Well, I hate this question because I hate my answer. The answer is yes. And I hate second-guessing kids. I hate 2020. I hate Monday morning quarterbacking, hindsight, all that stuff. Gresham and Bradford did what was in their hearts, did what they thought was right. I am not going to fault them for that, Barry.
No, I think the answers are a little bit different for each guy, though. I think Sam Bradford came back for a lot of different reasons, not even related to football. Now, people don't necessarily want to believe that, but I do think Sam wanted to get a degree. I mean, he graduates either in December, although he's got one class in the spring. He's made one B in his OU career, so he's a serious student. He really did want the degree. He really did want to come back and try to win a championship. I don't think him coming back had anything to do with raising his draft status. I really don't. It may prove to be that way. Yeah, it may not be that way, but I don't think that was the case. With Gresham, I think the answer might be yes, he did make a mistake because a tight end, not a huge prime position in the first round of the NFL draft. If a guy's got a chance to go in the first round of the NFL draft, you generally better take that chance.
The thing I come back to is I wonder if at some point there wasn't a level of euphoria and sort of guys getting caught up in coming back because Sam Bradford decides he's coming back and then the dominoes fall. I almost wonder if at some point Jermaine Gresham, Gerald McCoy may fall more towards the Sam Bradford side of things in that he generally seems to really enjoy being a student on campus and those sorts of things. But you almost wonder if those guys that stayed that could have gone was almost like a domino effect. And once everybody started saying, yeah, I'm coming back, we're going to win a title, yeah, I'm coming back, if it was just like, all right, I'm coming back, and if guys weren't really thinking about individually, what do I want to do, what do I think is best, and I almost wonder if that euphoria, the guys got caught up in it a little bit, and you saw maybe some guys that would have made a different decision otherwise deciding to come back.
Unfortunately, the dominoes are still falling. Bradford goes down, Gresham goes down. Trent Williams better have a bodyguard because he's next, I guess.
And then you have Gerald McCoy. Does he feel a little queasy, a little leery, Jenny, at what's happened?
Well, I think you would be without sort of emotion if you didn't start to sort of look around and wonder. I mean, these guys, it was going to be these guys in tandem, Bradford, Jermaine, Trent, Gerald leading this team to great glory. I mean, that's what these guys talked about. So I think if Gerald McCoy and Trent Williams both weren't sort of sitting around thinking, boy, like you said, John, should I be really concerned here? They'd be lying to themselves. Yeah, absolutely they have to be thinking about that right now.
I wrote about this 2 or 3 weeks ago, long before these injuries, but I know a guy that believes in bad karma, and he believes that in sports, when bad things happen, they tend to snowball. And in 2000, when everything broke right for the Sooners, then in 2001, things started, happening, injuries and defections and things. And he said, "Hey, this is the way this season's going to go." And it turned out, by OU standards, he was right. Well, this season's going that way. You had the Balogun case. Then all of a sudden you got the injuries, and you got the bad end to a BYU game, and you wonder, what's next?
As much as coaches and players don't like to admit this, fantastic, magical national championship seasons, there's luck involved. There's luck involved because Sam Bradford's taken hits like that before and popped up and been fine. And then Saturday he gets...
Against BYU?
No. But guys have been knocked to the turf in that regard and not hurt themselves. I mean, we see guys and you go, oh, that looked bad, but then they're fine. But Bradford, he hit it wrong. He's injured for a couple weeks. I mean, luck is involved in these things, and no coach or player wants to admit that.
John, is it fair if you didn't second-guess Bradford back in January to second-guess him now?
Well, I agree with Barry's previous answer. I think Sam was a number one, a pending number one. There were different elements involved. You go, this is about Sam Bradford. This isn't about making myself better, trying to get more money out of it. You second-guess Gresham, like you said. Pat Jones, who coached tight ends for the Miami Dolphins, said, it is an important position, but you mold them once they get to the NFL. So you don't have to waste high draft choices on tight ends because you shape them a little bit more in the NFL because they're not Remember Chase Kaufman last year at Missouri, how wonderful he was? He's struggling with Cincinnati. He doesn't get it. And he was one of the best tight ends in the country last year.
I almost wonder if Bradford, he's not going to get as much money potentially with the NFL draft because if you're not number one, you're obviously going to lose some there. So he may not, I mean, the Lions could go 0 for again, and they're not going to draft a quarterback. But he might end up, even though with less money, with a team that maybe is a little better. You know, maybe isn't sort of the cellar dweller right now that a Lions or, you know, somebody like that would be. Maybe he ends up on a little better team, even though he's not going to make as much money in the draft, I don't think, the next time around.
I don't think this injury will hurt his draft status. I mean, I think he'll still be right at the top, and maybe a team passes on him because they don't want a quarterback.
Even though it's his throwing shoulder.
I don't think this will affect him much. I really don't.
Barry, would the decisions by these 3 guys or 4 guys who pricked their fingers and made a pact to all come back, would it have been different if OU had won in the BCS title game and beaten Florida?
Oh, probably. I think there's a chance that, you know, one of the motivations for Bradford, for instance, coming back would be gone. You know, chasing that championship. I still think he probably would have came back. Those other guys, maybe not, because I think. You know, that's one thing everybody wants to do and wanted to do, and I think if you have that goal already obtained, you're less likely to keep chasing it.
That's all for this edition of the Press Row, but you can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK, and every morning in the Oklahoman.